Alright? See? This way. This way. Come on. You're not causing any trouble today, eh? Oh, that's not warm. See? This way. See. Careful. Stop. Good girl. With me? With me? Getting busy for Christmas Day. Do your balls hang low? Do you swing and to fro? Do you tie 'em in a knot? Do you tie 'em in a bow? Do you get a funny feeling when they're hanging from the ceiling? Oh, you'll never be a sailor if your balls hang low. Come on. Come on. Well, nobody ever expects snow down here. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Come here. Sue. Beep, 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 beep. Stop. Nobody expects snow down here. It is really busy for Christmas Day. Normally around here it dies. It's fucking busy. Really busy. Not seen it like this before. It normally just dies around here. Oh, fuck off a lot of you. I feel like I'm using the force holding my hand out here. Oh god, where was I? I had to go off. Jesus, that's cold. It's an easterly. It's horrible. I had to go offline earlier on in a bit of a hurry, so I didn't get to say the last bit, which was just Merry Christmas. And you know, like I was trying to say, whether you're by yourself, whether you're in pain, suffering, whether you're having a great time, no matter what, like, obviously it's relative. And I know when I used to be in a bit of a bad space, when people used to say Merry Christmas, I used to think, oh yeah, but it's scalable, right? What I mean is, if you're having a bad time, I hope it can be a better day. If you're having a good time, then I hope it can be a great time. You know what I'm saying? So it's still, and none of this happy holiday shit. Yeah? Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Yeah, I'm not having this happy holiday stuff that they try to push on us. Happy holidays! Happy holidays! Yeah. Here we got, sorry. Hello, so we got Neum. Can you say Merry Christmas for my brother Nick? He's super special kid, if you know what I mean. Nick! Merry Christmas, my man. I really, really hope you have the best Christmas in the world. Yeah, Nick, have the best Christmas ever, mate. Have the best Christmas ever. Hi there, Rupini. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Hi, Oscar. Hi, Oscar. Good to see you. Merry Christmas, everybody. I'm in Southampton, New Forest, UK. Just going over to see my family now for a couple of hours before I disembark that ship and go back to video editing and stuff, which surprisingly is good to do. Oh, easterly wind, which is surprisingly good to do at Christmas because you get less interruptions. So I tend to do a lot more video editing and stuff over the Christmas period, and it doesn't feel like work anymore. It's just that creative fun without the pressure. So and maybe sneak a computer game in as well here and there. So yeah, and again to Nick, you know, have a fantastic Christmas, my friend. Have a fantastic Christmas. You deserve it. You deserve it. So have a good one. And like I say to everybody, you know I always say this, like, I'm not a Christmassy person, to be honest. But I realise it's not Christmas I don't like, it's the time of year. Like, for instance, I think if I was in Australia, I think I'd find it different because it's summer. I'm just a summer person. I like sleeping outside, I like being outside. Having easterly winds coming at me and 7 hours and 40 minutes of sunshine a day is not my cup of tea. But I also have come to realise over the years, I used to be almost proud of my hatred for Christmas, and it wasn't Christmas, as I said, but I didn't know that. And you don't realise you're affecting the people around you when you do that. And if I had have done, I wouldn't have done it. Also, it's like, it's not about getting excited over Christmas as you become an adult or anything else. It's about just giving yourself a bit of an excuse in the middle of what is 7 hours and 40 minutes of sunshine to just relax, enjoy time with people. The end. Because you're so wound up all the time. Hang on a second. So wound up all the time. It doesn't happen as often as we'd like. No dog there. Okay. So yeah. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. It won't set. Unfortunately, sometimes it will censor some of the comments. I'm on Prism, and it means that YouTube will only send the top comments through, which is their way of censoring comments. Just so you know. And to the people on Getter who were connected, hiya, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Alright. Yeah, and to the people on Getter and in the USA, again, thank you for your support. We're currently connected by RTMP, is it RMPT, however it is, key, which means that I can't see your responses directly, but I'm working on it. Well, I say I'm working on it. It really comes down to Getter providing the people who make these bits of software with the ability to log in. So, like a bot login kind of thing, you know. So, yeah. So we're waiting for it to happen. So, but regardless, I still come and check Getter and that, and I've spent so much more time on Getter than I used to. Because again, since they've taken the restrictions off me on Getter, I can do my thing. I can get out again. So now it's become a priority, along with building a new YouTube channel, because again, I see YouTube, if we grow back to our old size, as being a window to the world, because not only did we do heavy UK numbers, but we did good around the world. But Getter, a window to the US, definitely, and we need to have that window to the US. It's more important than some people realise. So I want to keep it open, and so the visuals can be both sides, so we can show the US what's coming so they can stop it, but also so that they can maybe witness some of the stuff that we're going through, because we're going to need witnesses. Yeah, because some of the stuff is, I've been questioning a lot of it recently, like how much of this in a court of law would come under a breach of human rights, and I honestly am not sure. The stuff that's happened in Britain, and I'm not sure how much of it would actually be, you know, and I'm wondering as well if we were still part of Europe, for as much as, you know, that's not what I wanted. I'm wondering how much of what's happening at the moment would be a breach of human rights. I don't know because I've not looked heavily into it, but there's a lot of stuff going on that, yeah, Britain had, you know, and the thing of it is, we're very insulated here, or at least people think we are, and we're getting a reputation all around the world, not a good one, for what's going on here. And I don't know if our government doesn't know it, doesn't care, but it's not endearing us to any of our Western colleagues at all. You know, we went from being behind Canada and countries like that, we moved in the same direction, but we went from being behind them with just the audacity to bring in some of the policies and that they did, and we've now jumped ahead of them. We're now the leader in bonkers fucking Socialism. So there you go. Merry Christmas. Take a rest. Today's Christmas. We celebrate the most loving God of all time, Jesus. Show love. Spend time with your loved ones. Happy Christmas. It's nice to hear people not talking about money. It's good. It's, you know. Well, am I so random? What do you mean? In the way that I talk? Because I don't come on with a script. Because this was planned. It wasn't planned, I should say. And I don't ever run out of things to talk about. So I normally run a political podcast, but it's Christmas. And my mind can be in 7 places at once. And contrary to what a lot of women say, some men are capable of multitasking. So I will skip to different subjects. Usually, the ones that could be tied together I'll get to. If it's an actual proper podcast, I'll tie them all together by the end. It depends. If it's one like this, maybe not so much. But I'm random because I'm also random because I've got a lot of interests. So we may be talking about Winston Churchill, and I'll stop. I'll see something and I'll start talking about the weather because I'll see something in the sky that will make... Because it's real time. It's real time. There's no script. It's just real time reactions to stuff. So, obviously it's a little bit more structured if I'm going to a protest, if I'm going to do an interview, all of those kinds of things. It's much more structured. But yeah, it's Christmas Day. And I am seemingly random until you've watched me enough. And yeah, then people start to see the patterns and start to understand. And then they don't find me so random. Not at all. In fact, they see there's a mechanism of clockwork going on. It just doesn't work the same way other people's do. Hence why I do this. It's my way of saying, yeah, I am a bit weird, but not in a negative way. US and UK both are developed nations. I live by wisdom, not by government. Good, because government is not going to help. It's not that. It's like living by wisdom. It's not that. It's what they're doing to our countries to make it unsafe. You know, so that rising above it, which is, you know, always the ultimate thing to try and do, might not be a choice because it's in your back garden. You know, this is what I mean. They've just made things unsafe. That's all I'm going to say on Christmas Day. They've made things unsafe. It didn't need to be like this. This could have been the best time to be alive. And really, for some people, it still could be. For some people, it actually really still could be. Yeah, you know, so I'm beginning to think people just need to make the most of right now. Because tomorrow is less guaranteed than it ever has been before. I don't mean world destruction or anything quite so dramatic. I just mean culture and life as we know it. You know, could change over the course of years. It could change over the course of a night. But it's going to change. And I think things like today, like Christmas and things like that, if you do like them, if you do like the family aspect of them, I think it's worth embracing those things right now, because you just don't know what's around the corner. And again, I'm not predicting anything gloomy. I'm just saying you don't know. You don't know. We always presume we're in safe cultures. Well, right now ours is teetering. Whether anybody wants to admit it or not, it is. And there's so much evidence to prove it. You know, from all sides, not just from my argument side, but from both sides of the argument. There's just so much to show that the overwhelming weight is getting to the whole, it's getting to the whole country. And I don't know where that ends. I honestly don't know where it ends, but it's gonna blow up in one way or another, whether it's politically, whether, you know, I don't know. I don't have the answers. I thought some of this was predictable and some of it is, but there's some stuff you don't know because it's humans involved. And you keep thinking they're going to reach their tipping point, and then they calm down a bit because it's winter, they don't like going out. But then you see them start to boil again. I don't know. I just know that people have had enough. They've been through a lot over the last 10 years. We all have. And I just think people have got to a point of having enough. And what they needed was a bit of calm and stability. Just a decade of calm and stability. Without things changing too much. Without, you know. Because we haven't had that. We've just had constant austerity and constant, constant madness. And I just, out there, left and right, that are like, if you're on the left, you're paedophile, or whatever they like to call them. If you're on the right, you're a racist, bigot. I find all that boring. So I'll just say Merry Christmas to anybody that's just considered themselves to be a human being today. Because at the end of the day, that's what we all are. And political differences or not, something's happened in the last 10, 15 years, and that is that we used to be able to be completely different politically and go for a pint together, and it would make the slightest bit of difference. Our ideologies on how the world should be run had nothing level. And now we're all connecting on this high-minded politics, which most of us will never touch or have any influence over. It's just a machine that is running on top of our heads. And people are losing friends and family over it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it for what you're losing them for. I don't know. It's not worth it. Because at the end of the day, I don't know. It's like I heard an American friend of mine, truly tell me that he believed that anybody who voted for Trump, this was the first time Trump got elected, was definitely racist. And I said to him, you realise you're talking about half of your countrymen, don't you? And he's like, yeah, I know, it's crazy, isn't it? I'm like, crazy is one way of putting it. There was a time when you'd never react like that, to think that one set of voters means one lot of ideals, you know. But this is also the fault of people that like to create narratives. When you create a narrative, people will hold you to it. So, some things to think about, eh? So, this way, baby, away from the road. Anyway, I'm not here to lecture, I'm here to talk. Hi, this is Steve. Glitching, sorry about that. I want to give you a warm hug. Well, maybe another day, but that's nice of you. Don't worry, I'm fine. I'm good. But this is the world we live in, I'm afraid. But and this is what I'm saying, you know, take a look around you, especially in the UK. Take a look around you, your family, your friends, all of that. If you are into Christmas, or even if you're not. Because again, like I said, I am totally serious when I say it could be 25 years, it could be tomorrow. But at the moment, the trajectory that we're on, unless something major changes, is one of major change in itself. And there's a thing about humans that is, or at least the British humans, and I'm pretty sure it's true of all of us, it seems to be universally true. We all like to pretend we're really adaptable and that we, you know, over our years of evolution, we've managed to evolve into and that takes time. The truth of it is we don't like change. Whenever I talk to people, I'm careful how I say this, but whenever I've talked to people about things like addiction or other problems that they've got, when we've got past the initial stages of what's making them unhappy, we would eventually get down to things like addiction or other things that I don't want to mention on here. Not that weren't addiction, and it came down to a point where they could see with perfect clarity what the problem was without me saying a word. And it's like, right, you said that, not me. So what do you think that means in terms of how you fix it? And they would come up with the answer, which was, I need to stop doing this, and I need to not associate with this person. They would come up with the answer, and then you wouldn't hear from them again. Because what they'd done is decided, when you suddenly come up with that answer, you realise that a couple of things. One, you're about to take on a lot of responsibility because you've been blaming stuff on other people, and now you're about to take that responsibility on for yourself again. But also, it means change, major change. It means that you've been living a certain lifestyle which you hate, but at the same time, you're going to have to also live in a very uncomfortable world for a while, in a world where you've got no prop. And when you've had one, you see the colour drain out of people. When they go for that realisation of, shit, this is my idea, I've said all this, but I feel vulnerable. Of course I do. And yeah, so, and what I've realised is, whether it's conversations about that, whether it's other things, whether it's forming new habits, humans are actually terrible at change. And when faced with change that will actually change their life for the better, 9 times out of 10, the first instinct is to run rather than embrace. I don't know why. Again, I think I've already just explained why. It's easier to stay where you are. People don't understand this about suffering. You can suffer, and sometimes you can get addicted to the suffering without knowing it. Or, I don't really call it addiction. Some people call it addiction to the adrenaline. The adrenaline part's true, but I don't think it's addiction to being unhappy. I think it's like developed defense mechanisms and all kinds of things. And the idea of stepping into a world of possibility when you shut possibilities down, I think that's what's frightening to them. Again, when you open up that world of possibilities to people, at first they're really excited, and then you see over a very short period of time, sometimes hours, sometimes a couple of days, you see their mind going, and then you see the moment that responsibility is all on me now, that moment that drops, and again, you may never hear from them again, or they go quiet for a very long time, and that's, they don't realise what they're saying when they do that, but what they're saying is, I tap out, I am more comfortable being uncomfortable than I am making change. And that's why I've come to my conclusions recently about people potentially capitulating with what's happening in this country, being apathetic to the point of leaving it too late. I don't think it's because people are scared. I don't think it's because people are bad. I think it's because people don't like facing change. Once they are made to face change, usually we're glad that we've made that change. Same in relationships. We can know a relationship's dead long before we do anything about it, and then at the end of it we go, I wish I'd done that earlier. It's just everything in life. And yet we know that facing these things sooner does us more good. Listen to me. Like I know everything. Hi there, hi everybody who I haven't said hi to. Have a Merry Christmas. I've got a feeling this is glitched. Yeah, I've got a feeling this is glitched out. Not surprised. It probably is Get Her Off. And maybe YouTube as well, actually. I'm not sure. It's been yeah, Prism has some very basic faults. So, but I miss you. I wish, just for people on replay, if this does come out, I wish you a Merry Christmas. sorry for going so heavy, but I'm not in the sort of mood where it's going to bring me down. So, yeah, because it's just conversation. But it's also, like I said, with everything, I see the future as being bleak. But all of those futures are predicated on the idea that we do nothing. They are not futures where we stand up and change things. So those are the futures that I'm looking at. The ones where we stand up and actually make a change, I haven't looked at yet because I haven't seen enough evidence that we're going to do that. The moment I see it is where I start looking down that avenue. I can only look at things as they are. And there's very little evidence to suggest that people are going to stand up for real change. And I cite the national strike, I cite the TV license, I cite the lack of actual action, the size of the groups, the size of the movement, and the amount of people day to day that don't want to talk about any of this stuff for fear of losing their job or whatever else. Yeah, the evidence is all there, so you know, and I don't like that, but there you go. Anyway, for whatever reason we've stalled, so I will wish you all a Merry Christmas. I will be on maybe later on. If people want some company, give me a shout somehow, like just on the comments or whatever, say I want some company, or are you coming on live or whatever else, because I'm going to be here a couple of hours, or you know, and then I'm going to go home, and I'm going to be doing videos anyway. So if anyone's alone, they want some company, give me a shout and I'll do your head in for a while, and I'll be on the computer so we can actually talk back and forward properly. So let me know. I'm Tom Fury, this is Zero News. I'm calling it a day for now, my friends.
Father, please, you can have my Led Zeppelin records, George Michael, anything. That's my boy! Wimp.
I don't know why, but something is wrong.
Rule Britannia!
The TV is crazy and the truth has gone. I might be crazy, but I think we're done. There are people out there who are adverse to fun.
Communism is king.
It's going